WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something that is a limited edition, Glenlivet, rare and exotic, well, okay. 12-year-old illicit still, 48%, non-chilled filtered, wow. And a price, and over here in Germany, from 40 euros, wow. All right, whiskey base 175817. Now, have other people done a video about this? Yes. So I think I'm changing my concept slowly but surely, that I'm just not doing videos no one else has ever done. Forgive me for changing my concept. But I have everything set up. I have most of the information in my brain. Why not do a video in English as well as in German, also of bottles that you might be able to find? Who knows? Who knows? All right, this is actually to commemorate George Smith, the founder of the distillery Glenlivet. I was there basically 2 years ago, and it was fantastic. It was one of the best tours that I did in a distillery where I was actually a normal person. When I go to a distillery, often I contact them beforehand and say, hey, WhiskyJason, YouTuber, blah, 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 and I get a special tour sometimes. This time I was just a part of a totally normal tour, and I was still very, very much impressed. So the first thing that impressed me was the facilities. There's a great bistro restaurant there. So I had a nice late lunch, good food, okay prices, great people there. Beautiful, beautiful campus is what I'm going to call it. There's a little sculpture, there's a lot of stone, there's a little shop. The people in the shop were not as helpful as I was hoping them to be, but that's okay. I guess I was a little bit different. I wanted to have a bottle that I couldn't get in Germany, and I don't know what's in Germany. I was like, well, okay, good, thanks. Um, I guess I should know what we can get in Germany, what we can't. And now we have something which is fairly new. This is part of the original stories. I'm looking forward to other bottles from Glenlivet from the original stories. And this is the illicit still, because George Smith had an illicit still. He was one of maybe 200 people in the valley. Glen means valley. Livet, Livet is the river that flows through that valley. So in the valley of Livet, he was one of 200 people back then that had illicit stills. Most of the time they were smaller stills, maybe 50 liters, maybe 30 gallons max, and so on. And so 19 and 1824, 1 year after the Excise Act, where the king actually of the UK or Britain said we want to have money from all these illicit stillers, he actually went and paid his price, and he was able to become a legal distiller. Now, many of his friends did not like that. He always carried two revolvers with him, pistols, and he was able to make sure that he was the bully instead of being bullied by the people around him. Let's put it that way. I think that's okay. Now, Glenlivet is, together with Glenfiddich, two of the biggest distilleries in all of Scotland for single malt whiskey. And they are basically one of the biggest distillers for single malt whiskey in the world. 21 million liters is what they can produce. They have this mash tun. They have two of these things. It's just a gigantic. I stood in front of it. Very, very good. If you have the chance, stop the video now. Type in Glenlivet 12 illicit stills, and you will actually be forwarded to a official commercial video about you get a tour of the distillery online. It was made for Oslo, Norway, for the whiskey show, but it's fantastically done. You can see they have 46 washbacks. They have 14 stills, I think. It's just a massive, massive amount of whiskey being produced there every day. Why? 40% of it goes to America. People in America love Glenlivet. Now, this was a limited edition, and I have no idea of the availability in other countries. I do know that many, many, many people in Germany loved this bottle, and I do know that a few people in the UK saw this bottle as well. And I've not seen it anyplace else on any reviews otherwise. Now, this bottle is actually more or less a copy of the bottles were used before the 1900s. Brown, as we can see, just like Glenfarclas is still today. The shape, the label is a little bit of an old-fashioned label here. Very, very nice, well done. Why not? Why not? Now, I've given this some whiskey some time here in my glass. What I want to do now is compare it with a different Glenlivet. I don't have very many Glenlivets at the moment open. Sorry. I'm going to pull out something here called the Glenlivet Triple Cask. This is the Distiller's Reserve. It's 40%. And it was actually matured in, I like the back. It says here, American White Oak Casks. These are ex-bourbon. We have ex-sherry cask, and the triple cask would be traditional casks. Traditional casks are reused bourbon casks. I don't know. They did the same thing with Canadian. They were like, okay, this is then virgin oak, this is then bourbon oak, and this is Canadian oak. And it was not Canadian oak, it was Canadian whiskey oak because Canadian whiskey had been in it, and therefore it was Canadian whiskey cask. All right, so 40% versus 48%. This is a 1 liter bottle. This was 47 euros for this. This is a 0.7 liter for exactly 40 euros. The price have gone up with limited availability. Supply and demand, we know how that works. All right, so let's try this. On the nose, I get very nice coconut. I get a lot of malt sweetness, and I get a tiny little bit of honey slash wood spice. Not bad for one sniff. Don't forget, I've already done a video before this. So, as I said, I basically know what I'm going to say anyways. Over here, we have a lot more of a sherry influence. It's a little bit softer. This has a little bit more power behind it with 48 versus 4% versus 40%. Don't forget that 8% more actually would mean here almost, what is it, 5% more alcohol then? 10%, 10% would be 4. Oh, it's actually almost 20% more alcohol. That can't be right. That'd be divided by 5. That's 8. Yep, exactly. Wow, Jason can do his math. So it is a significant amount more of alcohol, 48 versus 40%. And that's often why they don't do it, because it costs more taxes, less product. This should reflect what they drank back then in the 1800s. So let's try it. Cheers. Mm-hmm. The 48% really are there. There's a little bit more of a heat than I originally expected. I might be a little bit of a wuss. I do prefer a 40% whiskey sometimes. But I also drink Jack Daniel's single barrel proof, the 64.5% without diluting it. So, figure me out. I don't know. Oh, this has a nice sweetness towards the end. There's that a little bit of a pineapple in there. Oh, nice. There's orange. It might be more of a clementine orange. It might be a real orange. It might be more of a blood orange, but it's definitely an orange peel, orange moment in there. And there's a lot of a malty sweetness. Nice. Now this is actually going to get a C plus on my record. If you can find this and you can find it for a good price, for me the good price was 40 euros. I'm going to give this actually a B minus for value for money. I don't know if you've seen many of my videos so far, but I hardly ever give a value for money better than the taste. Why? This is a age-stated whiskey, 12. Thank you very much. This is 48%. Thank you very much. Not standard 40. This is non-chilled filtered, so all those fatty acids are still in there that we want, that we need, that we enjoy as the freaks. The only thing that's missing is no one mentioned the phrase natural color. Nowhere will you find natural color on the bottle, on the description, or even one of the brand ambassadors did not use that word describing it. So I guess the color is added. What a shame. It would have been a perfect whiskey, but hey, we're not in heaven yet. We have to deal with what we have. And so for 40 euros for such a limited release, at least over here in Europe, this bottle, I would have gladly have paid 50 euros for it. Shh, don't tell them. But hey, over here in Europe, these bottles are going on the secondary market for 40 euros already, 50 euros already. So why not? So I could have been 10 euros more. And to be very honest, when I taste this, I've had very many, quite a few. Independent bottlers, especially German bottlers, they buy ex-bourbon casks. There is some European oak and also some American oak in here. Very interesting. And they will actually then dilute it down to 48% and sell it. Sell it for maybe 40 euros, 50 euros, 12 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, and so on. And sometimes that's a great whiskey just to have in the evening, maybe outside in the garden and in the yard, and just not think, just enjoy. And that's what this whiskey is. This is a very, very good whiskey. It's not the most complex of all whiskeys. There's not that many transitions in there, but it is absolutely for the price, for the value, for what it is, a really nice whiskey. Going over here very briefly to my Founder's Reserve. This is also a travel retail. I don't know if it's an exclusive, but it's a travel retail bottling. If you can find it, I actually recommend it. This is not bad. It has a little bit of a mineral moment, also in the nose, also in the palate. Mm. It's got a little bit of that sherry moment. It's got a somewhat longer finish. It's got a little bit more complexity, some transitions in there. This is actually not bad. 10 euros cheaper would have been better. But for the 40% product that it is, probably chill filtered as it is, definitely with artificial coloring as it is, it's still an okay whiskey. Is this more of an honest whiskey? Is this more of a nerdy type of whiskey? Yes. Which one would I prefer on a warm summer day? Sorry. I do like this, but I do like this a tick more. All right, thank you very much. My question of the day, what is your favorite Glenlivet? Now, many of you are going to say Nadora. I think Nadora has been discontinued, unfortunately. There used to be peated Nadora, there used to be sherry, there used to be bourbon, there used to be unpeated. They were usually a cask strength. Those were some amazing, amazing bottlings. If you can still find one as a dusty in a store, my suggestion would read the label, pick it up. If you want the peated, go for that. If you want the unpeated, make sure you don't buy a peated Nadora. They will knock your socks off. So, thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, tell others about this crazy guy over here in Europe tasting whiskey you might not ever see. But I'm going to be doing more and more bottles, so let's see what happens. All the best. Thank you very much. You can always write in the comments or contact me at whiskeyjason@gmail.com. Bye-bye.